No, it's not burr. It's like this. Brrr.
What? No, I'm shivering because of the cold, you buffoon.
I am not a crook.
Okay, chill out, Nixon, and get it. Get it? Because it's cold. You know.
It's a literal cold open this time, huh?
Yeah. Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Parker Carlson. So, Bong Joon, who do we have first?
Do you know how wickedly insensitive that is? Another one of those and I'll be walking myself out of here.
Are you sure you want to do that right now? In the middle of an episode, too.
I'm about to drop a bombshell, Parker. Saoirse Ronan didn't even win.
Okay, don't lose yourself, Abby.
Eminem jokes. You're about 18 years too late on that. It's a good thing we've got the real Slim Shady with his one shot and opportunity to spit some hot Oscar fire about the Oscars. Care to show up these posers, Nate?
Another Oscar season has come and gone, and this one ended with a bang. While some of the winners were predictable from the start, the Academy took a huge step forward when they awarded Bong Joon-ho's class-based thriller Parasite Best Picture, making it the first foreign language movie to win the most coveted award in filmmaking. In a surprise twist, director Bong Joon-ho won Best Director over the presumed frontrunner Sam Mendes for his work on the World War I film 1917. For many, as soon as Bong Joon-ho's name was announced for Best Director, it was inevitable that Parasite would win Best Picture. Other awards were given out to Joaquin Phoenix for Best Actor, who won his first Oscar for his role as the man who became the Clown Prince of Crime in Joker. Renee Zellweger won her second Oscar in the Best Actress category for portraying Judy Garland in the biopic Judy. Brad Pitt won his first ever Oscar for acting in the Best Supporting Actor category for his role as Cliff Booth. And Quentin Tarantino's 60s-soaked epic Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Laura Dern won her first Oscar in the Best Supporting Actress category for her role as divorce lawyer Nora Fanshawe opposite Scarlett Johansson in Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story. In the screenwriting categories, fan favorite Taika Waititi took home the award for Best Adapted Screenplay for his anti-hate satire Jojo Rabbit, and Bong Joon-ho won another Oscar for original screenplay for Parasite. Other notable winners included Toy Story 4, winning for Best Animated Feature. Cry All You Want, it 100% deserved the win. Matthew A. Cherry won his first Oscar for Best Animated Short for his lovely short film Hair Love. Roger Deakins won Best Cinematography for 1917. Hilda Guanadotier won Best Score for Joker. And Elton John and Bernie Taupin won Best Original Song with I'm Gonna Love Me Again from the film Rocket Man. Other memorable moments from the night included a surprise performance from Eminem, who sang his Oscar-winning song Lose Yourself from the 2002 film 8 Mile. Billie Eilish performed a cover of the Beatles song Yesterday during the In Memoriam segment, and an opening performance from Janelle Monáe was honoring some of the films that weren't nominated, such as Midsummer and Queen and Slim, for some reason. While the hostless Oscars may have worked well last year, I felt the lack of a host this year brought a show that overall felt kind of bland, especially with some of the historic wins. All in all, I will say that I am happy with the wins, and I'm hoping that Parasite's big wins is a sign that things are changing at the Academy. Until next time, I'm Nate Richard.
Thank you, Nate. You know, to me, it was a great show, especially since they got rid of those bumbling hosts.
I know. Any show with any hosts whatsoever just flops on so many fronts.
Yeah, remember that one year of the Oscars where they did a cannibal show?
Yikes, that makes me shudder just thinking about it. Oh God, and the one episode where they made the host wear a unicorn horn? Talk about dumb.
Oh my God, laughably bad. But speaking of dumb, hear anything about the Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn flopping at the box office?
Yeah, like how the writers flopped when writing this transition. You know who won't flop? Ben Nelson, who's here to talk about Birds of Prey.
Yes, it's true that the new Birds of Prey movie from Warner Brothers is not doing as well as expectations at the studio, as its opening box office is the lowest in the DCEU to date. Despite glowing reviews and receiving a 79% certified fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes, audiences simply decided to stay home last weekend and continue to watch Star Trek Picard. Well, at least that's what I did. Things have gotten so bad for this movie that reports came out that Regal and AMC's websites straight up have changed the name of the film to try to boost ticket sales. Yes, this is a thing. Right now, both websites have the movie tagged as Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. That just shows you how desperate the theaters are to try to get people in the seats. Truly a dark time for WB and DC right now. Let's hope that the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie doesn't have this same disaster of a performance that BOP had. So far looking good, as currently it has a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes and audiences scores of around the 90s for the film. Finally, James Marsden can say that he was in a good film where he played a dude who drove a truck for the majority of the film with a CG character riding shotgun. Also, new developments have come in about the newly revealed Batman costume that Robert Pattinson will be donning in the new The Batman movie, directed by Matt Reeves. So far, the reception has been decent to good, with a lot of people pointing out how similar the cape and cowl is to Netflix's Daredevil costume, but I would consider that to be a compliment. Maybe things are turning up again for DC after all. Finally, speaking of Netflix, some breaking news just arrived with the new teaser for Stranger Things Season 4 just dropped with a pretty good big reveal. Turns out that Hopper is still alive and is working in what looks to be Russia. This will inevitably spark some theories and speculation ahead for the hit Netflix series. What happened and what's next? Back to you, Parker.
Thank you, Ben.
Honestly, I don't think it should have flopped. That movie was basically spoon-fed to us.
I don't think that's a good thing, Abby.
You just don't get it. You clearly weren't a Gerber baby growing up.
What are you talking about?
Oh, naive young Parker. The Gerber baby just got a big face tattoo.
Oh, so he's damaged too, right?
No, just misunderstood, actually.
Wait, are you talking about Presley Gerber? He's not the Gerber baby. You know that, right?
Duh. So here's Kierlin to talk more about the recent celebrities' tattoos on their faces.
Covered up.
Kierlin?
Art can be presented in so many ways, whether it's music, fashion, paintings, but face tattoos? Yes, I know that face tattoos are nothing new, but a total of 4 celebrities got them just this week, which is nothing short of a coincidence to me. 2 of the 4 were Amber Rose and her boyfriend, Alexander Edwards, famously known as AE. Their matching forehead tattoos honor their blended family. Amber Rose has her sons' names Bash and Slash plastered over her forehead, while AE has their birthdays on his. Chris Brown got a tattoo of an Air Jordan shoe, and the game paid tribute to Kobe Bryant with the number 8 just above his brow. In other odd news, a new challenge has gone viral, and it includes something that you can find in your home. It's called the Broom Challenge. Celebrities including Tory Lanez, Quavo, and Blac Chyna all mastered the art of standing a broom up by itself. Speaking of Blac Chyna, a lot of people were surprised that she attended the Oscars, but that still didn't stop her from posting her stunning attire. Another special guest was DeAndre Arnold, who is a high school student that was suspended for having dreadlocks. He was invited by director Matthew H. Harry and producers of the animated short film Hair Love, which is about a black father learning to style his daughter's natural hair. The film went on to win the Oscar for Best Animated Short Film. That's all from me this week. I'm Kierlin Milrow.
Thank you, Kierlin.
Oh, so the Real Deal Primary Caucus is here.
A couple weeks late from last time we mentioned it, huh?
Kind of like Iowa. Before we give out these staggering statistics, we've got to hold our first presidential debate.
Very professional.
I'm here to tell you why I would be a better president than Parker Carlson. Let's start with the obvious. I'm clearly funnier and a lot more cunning. That's right, I said it. Now that we have the obvious aside, let's move on to my other points. I'm very sassy, and I won't take anything from anyone. Parker is weak. If other clubs try to come in and take over or manipulate us in any way, Parker will let it happen. He doesn't have the strength to take on competitors. That's right, I said it, you're weak. He just begged them to love him. That's all he wants from anyone is friendship. And I think I can handle people not liking me and doing what is right for the club. Second, I am a natural leader. Parker is weak. Parker will let people control him. He will let people manipulate him, as I mentioned before. Parker is weak. Number 3.
How many times do you even say that?
As many times as I need to get the point across that you're not strong enough or fit enough to be the president of Real Deal. All right? Look at him crying. Weak. All right. Number 3, I take action. Parker is a child that is afraid of action. I was born ready for this position. Parker was born yesterday. So, soak that one in. I can handle working with anyone, clearly. I work with Parker currently, and I've worked with Noah Bullard in the past. I can handle anything. I don't scare easily like Peeker Clownerson over here. That's right, I said it.
You said you would bring it up again.
Well, this is a presidential debate. I can bring up whatever I want. This is what the facts are pointing to. Parker, Peeker. I'm quick on my feet. And I don't panic and hide under desks. He's going to deny that he's ever done that, but we all know he's done it at least twice. Look at that face.
No comment.
Weak. I keep things short and sweet, much like myself. I'm also funny like that. Unlike Mr. Fully Written Out Speech over here. Yeah, I know you wrote out a full page of a speech. I kept this short and sweet because I care about my viewers. And I know that they don't want to sit through a long speech that they don't actually care about. So, take it away, Parker.
All right. Fourscore and 15 seasons ago, The Real Deal was formed by a group of extraordinary individuals. These individuals aspired for something greater. Something greater than the litany of wars between organizations here on campus. A war of viewership. There were many casualties. Assaults of not paper cuts, but paper lacerations. Perpetrators have decimated self-esteem to dust. Looking at you, Abby. Even a few good men have died from choking on applesauce. The Real Deal has faced tough times. With the coming Real Deal election, the war to be the one, the true Ball State premier entertainment news show will be on the forefront of all of our minds. Byte has gone on a rampage. Daily News is arming themselves, and the Red Army of BSU Tonight is destroying everything in its path. Our backs are against the wall, and we need a new president. I am that president. I have seen all facets of production on The Real Deal firsthand, except for the crew, which I have no idea what goes on in that room when we're
See,
taping.
I do.
Can my opponent, Abby, say that she's participated in all? No, she can't. She dilly-dallies around by putting unicorn horns on her head. She's too childish to face the issues and responsibilities that a president in wartime would have to. Abigail Nicole Perry, even if that is her real name, is the most corrupt host in Real Deal history. She has served 2 consecutive seasons, a clear violation of the bylaws of the Real Deal Senate and Judicial Branch. Abigail is a power-hungry criminal, serving as talent producer for another foreign organization. Wasn't enough for her, so she cheated the system and became host of The Real Deal halfway through a season. If that wasn't bad enough, there is clear evidence of the most heinous acts possible. Collusion with our rivals, BSU Tonight. I see her taking bribes under the table, paying off witnesses, even murdering Noah Bullard. Okay, one of those is a lie, but you know, the emotions are still there, okay? So I say to you, Real Dealians, when is enough? How long will you stand, Abigail, taking away your freedom and your segments, most of all? Today, it's your appearance on the show. Tomorrow, it's your freedom. So say no to Abby Perry. Say yes to me, Parker Carlson. Sin for Carlson 2020.
You know, I'd love to come back at you, Parker, but I know you'd just cry, so we'll just end it there. Good job, buddy. You did really great.
Go to our final words.
In the spirit of the month of love, I decided to review a show that covers just that, Dollface. The show is about a girl that gets dumped by her longtime boyfriend and must figure out life on her own. The only problem is that she doesn't have a life of her own. Everything in her life is somehow tied to him, and she doesn't even make an effort to make friends at work because she has a complete life already. Now she's in trouble. Soon after being dumped, she realizes that she needs to go find her old gal pals from college and reconnect. They don't trust her at all, obviously, since she basically ditched them for a man, and her old roommate is especially hurt, and she doesn't want to take any crap from her. The main character must learn how to be welcomed back into her old social circle, and she has to learn how to build her own independent life. Now, I say the words realize and learn in a new type of way. She isn't just sitting around and thinking about this stuff, and her friends help, but they aren't teaching her everything. No, it's something much more obvious than that. You guessed it, it's a cat lady that randomly appears and sets the show into fantasy mode. The main character finds herself being driven on a bus full of freshly dumped girls by the cat lady at the very beginning, and similar things happen throughout the show. Half of the show is fantasy and half of the show is real. It symbolizes her fears and the struggles present in her mind, and this is fun and unique and all, but wow, did it get confusing, or even unnecessary at times. For instance, there's a scene that shows the main character approaching a group of girls at work. She's nervous, so the walk seems never-ending. A great concept, but it goes on far too long. There are times when you just don't know if the scene is actually happening or not, either. The show also kind of feeds into female stereotypes. Now, don't get me wrong, it pushes for independence and feminism, but it also portrays all the girls doing the squeal thing whenever they see each other, and it shows every female on the planet getting all dressed up in big long sundresses and leaving their husbands, who are obviously playing video games, to go to brunch. Don't even get me started on the emotional stuff that they portray girls. Despite the fantasy and some of the stereotypes, I did actually find the show quite enjoyable and even a bit relatable at times. It was also really funny, which is always a plus for me. Aside from content, the talent was really good as well. The main four girls include Kat Dennings, Shay Mitchell, Esther Povitsky, and the queen herself, Brenda Song. Seeing these familiar faces made the show even more enjoyable. Overall, I really enjoyed the show. There were some things I could have done without, but they weren't enough to deter me from watching and enjoying. And that's all I have for you this week.
I thought Brenda Song peaked in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
I mean, she definitely did, yeah, but she's pretty decent in this show, too.
Okay. All right. After that long-winded speech I just gave, I'm going to do you all a solid and make this short.
For the first time ever.
Okay, shut up.
I'm kidding.
So I got in the mood of political campaigns recently. Gee, I wonder why. And I was wondering why there are so few good movies on the campaign trail. I mean, movies are supposed to be a cathartic experience, a way to escape and make fun of your boring lives. You would think that the movies making fun of politics and all the idiosyncrasies that politicians have would be much more common than it actually is. So I was thinking, dang, Hollywood, change it up after another action movie. But then I turned on the news and realized literally no comedy could actually beat what is happening in real life. At this point, a documentary of our news cycle could be released to theaters and it would become a hit at the box office. The cathartic experiences of getting mad, crying, laughing, and letting out our emotions are no longer tied to 2-hour films. Instead, we can get all those benefits from 5 minutes of Fox, MSNBC, or literally any other channel. Since politics are taking the fun away from all the satire, irony, and general comedy that people can imagine, I feel bad for The Onion, honestly. I mean, they used to be super funny until the actual truth started to beat out anything they could write. That was just my rant.
That was a good rant. Fair points. That's it for us today here at The Real Deal. If you want more from us, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website for all things entertainment. I'm your host, Abby Perry.
And I'm Parker Carlson. See you next time on The Real Deal.